the beginning of this week, Apple announced two brand new iPhones, the iPhone 15 and then the iPhone 15 Pro, which they do basically every September and October. I wanted to take a minute to talk a little bit about the cameras on the phone from a perspective of a professional photographer who uses his phone for photography, for photo shoots, and for social media. I also finally wanted to make a video about an iPhone because I couldn't do that for the past couple of years, the past 9 years, because I actually was an Apple employee. I worked in the stores and I also worked in corporate at times. So I finally wanted to take some time to make a video from a perspective of a professional photographer who used to work at Apple who couldn't talk about this before. So let's just dive right into the cameras and dive into the phones. There's not a lot of upgrades to the phone this year. You do have USB-C, which we've been waiting for a long time. So now you can have one cord for all of your devices. But also now they've done some upgrades to the phone's cameras, and we're gonna do it first with the iPhone 15, and then we're gonna talk about the iPhone 15 Pro. So the biggest advancement for the camera for the iPhone 15 is that it now has the same 48 megapixel sensor that the iPhone 14 Pros had last year. So now what this means is obviously higher resolution photos, but for the first time we're seeing in the iPhone 15 is an actual zoom as opposed to just having wide angle and ultra wide angle, which is what the iPhone 14 and all those prior only had. Now the iPhone 15 has the ability to do a 1.2 times crop in. So it is digitally cropping, it is not another lens, but this is still a huge advantage for people that want to buy the lower priced iPhone, but also want to be able to use the zoom. I personally have used the zoom a lot on my iPhone 14 Pro, the zoom lens. It's good in a pinch when you want to take a photo and it's something that's kind of far away and you don't want to digitally crop in. I've always had an advantage of doing the zoom on my phone and enjoying those photos, and it's great to see that they're bringing that over to the iPhone 15 lineup. There is one drawback though on the iPhone 15 is that you cannot shoot Apple Pro RAW on there. I think that's just something they're specifically making just for the Pro phones, as they are their Pro phones. So you can't do it, but I mean, a lot of people out there are using their phones for everyday things, family things, vacations like I'm on right now, and they don't really care that much about RAW. They care about just getting the photos, editing them a little, and putting them on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So the JPEGs are high quality JPEGs, and now with this 48 megapixel sensor, you're gonna have even better photos on there. But one improvement that they did get, that both phones got, which I think is incredible, but will also be coming to the 14 models, is the upgraded portrait mode, which lets you, after the fact of taking photos, pinpoint where you want the actual depth of field to be. So let's say I'm taking a photo of me and I miss my face and it focuses on my chest or maybe even behind me. Now with this upgraded iOS 17 software for the phones, you can actually pinpoint where you want the focus to be on these portrait photos, which I think is amazing because there have been times when I've taken a portrait photo and after I'm like, that's not really where I wanted the focal point to be, and I've already missed that moment. Now I can change that moment after the fact, and I think that is incredible, and that's coming to the 15s, 15 Pros, and even 14s with an upgrade to iOS 17. So let's now talk about the iPhone 15 Pro models.
The titanium iPhone 15 Pro, built with an aerospace-grade material, a new level of mobile gaming power, and a camera that can literally shoot a blockbuster film.
So there are a good amount of improvements to the iPhone 15 Pro camera, which means I will probably be getting the Pro model as much as I want to get the regular 15 because it's easier, it's cheaper, it's more simplistic. I don't use the cameras that much. The cameras on the iPhone 15 Pro have gotten a significant upgrade. They still do have the same 48 megapixel sensor. So basically the way that this 48 megapixel sensor works now is you can have multiple crops to formulate and mimic different focal lengths. So you can have an ultra wide macro, which could be a lot of fun. The next is a 13mm crop, which is kind of like a wide angle, which is what the wide angle lens is supposed to be, but this is just a different option. So you have that macro wide, and then you have the traditional 13mm ultra wide lens. With the telephoto, you get a traditional 48mm lens. So you get, you're starting to get that zoom that you would get in older generations, but There is a big asterisk here, but for the iPhone 15 Pro Plus, you get this 5 times telescopic telephoto lens, which is equivalent to 120 millimeter focal length. So that's like having in your pocket on your phone. Basically, you have a 13 millimeter to 120 millimeter focal length lens, which is kind of incredible, and again, probably why I might even pick up the Max. I've wanted the Max for a little while now because of the bigger screen, the better battery life, but having this 5 times focal length lens, that's a huge deal. I do use the telephoto lens on my camera a lot, mostly when I see something I don't want to zoom into it. Even though it is not the 48 megapixels, it crops it down to 12. I've always used the telephoto in videos, in social media stuff, and in some photos that I just want to zoom in a little bit more. And I think this is a huge advantage and something that a lot of other camera companies and a lot of other phone companies have been doing for a while now, but having a 5 times telescopic zoom on the Pro Max is awesome, which means the 16 will probably get it across the board, but for now we have it on the 15. So those are the big real upgrades. You know, you have a bigger sensor in the iPhone 15. In the iPhone 15 Pro, you have a 5 times zoom in the Max version, but then also the advanced larger sensor just has better color representation, higher megapixel quality, just sharper images. But what does that look like for a professional photographer? So I have a full frame Canon camera that I'm shooting on right now. This is actually my side camera. This is my Canon EOS R. My EOS R5 is at home. I'm in Thailand right now. And I have my Leica Q2, which is 47 megapixel full frame sensor. I use those cameras for my projects, whether it's me at my studio shooting people in the studio, or a wedding, or an event, or something like that. My Leica Q2 comes with me for travel as well, and I've been walking around the streets of Thailand, taking street photography photos with it. I've been getting some incredible results. The colors down here, just the vibe that I'm getting off of this Leica Q is just why I bought it. But where does the iPhone fit into a professional photographer's camera bag? Well, it fits in their pocket, it fits in their jean pocket, it fits in their shorts pocket on location. I use my phones on location when I want to record social media content for my Instagram and for my TikTok. I also use it when I'm at events, just grabbing a quick shot for my social media. So basically for me, I think the phone is a great tool for photographers who want to have that social engagement and have a good social presence. It's like having one of the best point and shoot cameras in your pocket, and it's also your phone, and it's a way for you to get that info out there. So do I think that in a world of mirrorless cameras and full frame sensors and Leicas and Canons and Sonys and Fujis and medium format, is there a place for the iPhone 15 and 15 Pro for a photographer? Absolutely there is. It's the way for a photographer to capture the moments, because we all know it doesn't really matter what you capture it on, it matters what it says in that moment. And I think also using the phone for engaging on social media and making social media content is great too. So I'm definitely gonna be picking one up. I'm excited, but it's not gonna replace my Canon, my Leica, or anything like that. It's just going to be another tool, like my drones are another tool for my photography and for my work. It's just another way for me to get content out there and capture and create moments. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like. Are you gonna get the iPhone? Do you think this is all just bold? Are you gonna keep your old one? Are you excited for it? I would love to hear your thoughts. Leave them in the comments below, and I look forward to getting mine. Remember to just shoot. I'm here in Thailand. I'm gonna make some more videos. I'm on the Leica Q, on some infrared photography, on my Insta360 Go. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm here for a couple more weeks. Thanks for checking it out. I'll see you in the next one.